think in some ways we would just not like the future
Hmm.
because we would be seen as so primitive. And because look, we do live in a flawed world. They probably would see our backward. We all seem like Ohioans to the future, I bet. How about that? I think that's a good, elegant way to put it. We all probably come across as like somebody who came from the middle of nowhere, who, has a backward perspective on things. Um, we wouldn't fit in. That's really, I think, um, part of it.
Well, I would say that is quite an optimistic way to even look at the future, because I think other people would argue, and I'm not taking a horse in this race, that
Sure.
that we're potentially heading towards a place where people are completely consumed with watching others dance on TikTok or the
Right.
YouTube or whatever, and that eventually we're going to just slide back into like totalitarian control or fascism, etc. And this is like we had 150 years of a pretty good run.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we show up and they look at us, you're like, wait a minute. We don't allow beards here. What do you
No,
what do you what are you doing here?
right, right. Yeah. It's possible. Hey, I'll go back to my present. I point taken.
Yeah, yeah. Look,
Uh,
but I like that. I like thinking that if I go in the future, I'm going to learn something. They're going to have something really cool for me. They're
mhm.
going to have implants where we can live to 200 and be super healthy, and that we can achieve the things we want to every day, instead of just like, well, I just got really burnt out around 2 o'clock, and I watched Rick and Morty till 7 and went to sleep. I don't know what happened.
Right, right.
I want all these things to be flawed about our brains and about our lives, because like I can't fantasize that things are going to be awful in the future. What's the point?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think from the one of the main things I think I've taken from this chat and how you've approached this, I think is the only way we can.
Yeah, which in some ways may sound a little fascist.
Why is
It's
that?
forcing people to be optimistic, forcing people to think. What real life is, we're all arguing about who's brainwashed about what, is really what I think is describes the present.
Right.
Um, and to tell somebody to think optimistically about tomorrow and even the next day, it does sometimes feel like thought control. Um,
Yeah, and I guess to that person's point, I would say, yeah, because if we think that automatically the future is going to be better, then we
sure.
don't do anything about today. And I think that probably is the biggest detriment to, like, thinking that the secret and that we can manifest a good world that doesn't run on fossil fuels and all these things. But if enough of us are scared enough that the next 10 years will bring many, many a demise, then
Yeah.
maybe we'll all be like, you know what? Okay, I'm not
Hmm.
going to buy an extra thing on Amazon. I'm going to try to do these things. And so, yeah, I kind of straddle where I want to be in that. Because like otherwise you're terrified and just taking action. But if
Sure.
you think tomorrow is going to be okay, I don't know. I don't know what's better.
Yeah. It's You're right. Yeah. I'm only just trying to um, think that tomorrow's better and sort of make today good as well.